Hello, kindred friend. Today is going to be a bit different. I have a percolating idea, and I'm not quite sure if it's going to work out. But again, in the spirit of doing things with intuition and trust in the human process of making mistakes and learning from them and going forward, I'm going to try it. We'll start this off, though, with a nice chime, a nice sound from the singing bowl. It's just not wanting to pick up the tone this morning. I've been trying, and it does take practice to catch it. I will do more another time. I wanted to make sure we had time for this new idea. I guess the singing bowl has brought my cat in. She's our audience member below. So I've been thinking a lot about the work I'm doing, both my own emotional work and the work that I do as a job. And at first I thought if I shared my thoughts about this work I do, that might not be appropriate for intuitive soundscapes. But then I thought, why not? I want to talk about mental health and acceptance and questioning the language that we've been taught to name ourselves with and rethink a lot of things that we've taken for granted about how we see ourselves. So that certainly can be intuitive. I mean, the very nature of coming on here and not really having an agenda is intuitive. So soundscapes. Well, I'm not going to be singing. I'm not going to be playing a musical instrument. I'm going to be talking. But talking is sound, right? And I've talked about how the intuitive singing is based on where sound and soul meet. Well, maybe intuitive sharing or speaking is where sound and soul meet as well. Especially if you're talking about something you are passionate about, and that's very important to you. So I'm not all that sure what will come out, but let's see. So I am a peer support specialist. What does that mean? Not many people know what a peer support specialist is. It's sometimes thought, are you a therapist? No, I don't have a clinical background. I did not go to school for psychology. I did not get a bachelor's in psychology and a master's in social work and etc. Many people have, and that's wonderful. A peer support specialist, are you a friend? Do you just, because it sounds like you just hang out with people. Okay, no, not completely. What a peer support specialist is, it's an emotional co-journeyer. It is undefinable in the most beautiful of ways, and yet needs to be defined in the right ways. And a peer support specialist is someone with their own lived experience of anxiety, depression, trauma, all of the things that most everyone goes through at some point in their life. And although we do not have our clinical degree in psychology, we have a lifetime of experience. I learned about the peer support role when I was a guest at a peer-run respite here in my city. And learning that there was a 4-bedroom house that were staffed by people who had all been going through what I went through and they just happened to be in a place in their life where they wanted to give back, where they wanted to be in a space where they could share what worked for them while honoring the individual journey of the other person. And so I learned what peer support was, and a door opened for me in my head. I just knew that this is what it's about for me. I've always been a helper. I've always been a caretaker. But as is common with empaths who are also caretakers and who just love a little too much sometimes, I lost myself for many, many years in this unhealthy aspect of caretaking and loving and wanting to help. And when I took the peer support training, I learned all about boundaries, and really boundaries is an ever-evolving lesson, and ethics behind peer support, and intentional peer support where it's based on mutuality and the meeting together where you both are at. I could say a lot of definitions, but and you can look it up yourself. But I think what it means to me is meeting up with someone who is struggling and can't really find their own map in this moment. And I'm not coming alongside them to tell them what my map was or is, but I want to witness them. I want to be a loving receptacle. Receptacle is kind of a weird word, but a loving listener that they feel free to be themselves. Because here's the kicker. Where in this world do you feel able to be yourself? I mean, really yourself. Not having to mask your emotions, not having to show one group of people this side of you and then not show this other side of you. How you're different people to different people. Where are you really just accepted for how you feel in that moment, without shame, without judgment? I think especially in this time that we're in, there is so much shame, judgment, pointing fingers at, demanding that a voice be heard and yet silencing other voices and being completely hypocritical. Where is the humanity? And humanity is not perfection either. Humanity is showing up for yourself and for other people as real as you can. And it means being vulnerable. Not everybody's going to like that realness about you. It will startle some, it will make some uncomfortable. But in my experience being a peer support specialist, I have found that people find great value in meeting someone who doesn't have an agenda. I don't need to fix them because they're not a problem to be fixed. These labels like depression and anxiety and bipolar disorder and borderline personality disorder and all the other DSM diagnoses, they're labels, and I want to say that they have a purpose for some, and it is okay for people to want diagnoses and for it to help them. So that's true. What is also true is that there has been immense harm done from the medical model towards people who are struggling. where someone will come in and say, I need help. I am so sad. And then the responding person says, well, you must be depressed. Let's bring you to a psychiatrist, and they will find medication that will make that depression go away. Well, I had that happen to me when I was very young, like 16, and throughout my life on different medications. This is my experience. I am not dissing all experiences with medications. This is my personal story. But I was made to think that the depths of my feeling, my ability to really feel so intensely and deeply, that was a problem to be fixed. Wow. Spontaneous. Hi. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm gonna move the phone. Or the cat. Oh, I know. Okay. Let's put you over here. I think someone wants to look out the window. Well, that was a nice icebreaker. So, yes, you. The deep feelings, the sensitivity that I had at such a young age was made to be a problem that needed to be fixed and something that needed to go away. I don't know how I would have felt if someone said, I see and hear that you're feeling so deeply, and I hear you saying that that is such a heavy burden to carry, but also it informs your creativity, it informs your personality. Let's talk about how to accept the beautiful intensity that courses through your veins, and how to take care of yourself when you feel so many feelings and it just overwhelms you. Let's think about ways to embrace that and manage it, but not fix. So I'm going to leave it there for right now. I have so much more to say. I do want to end this today by saying that a lot of the things that I've talked about are out there in publications and on the web. Currently, I am taking an intentional peer support training, and that is led, the tenets behind it are written by Sherry Mead, and so I give credit to her. I give credit to my facilitators and all the facilitators who around the world who teach intentional peer support. I just give credit to the people that came before and are currently right now out there advocating for mutuality and self-determination and in peer support. And how can we just take better care of ourselves and better care of each other? That's my intuitive soundscape for today. And I hope that you were able to take away something, even if that is, how can you look at the labels that you've been given by other people, by institutions, even by family members. How can you think of those words as something that benefits you in some way, that is a positive, beautiful trait? My anxiety, for example, makes me very attuned to what's going on around me. And so that's a different feeling. When I'm going through severe anxiety, I don't have to think of it as something that I have to fix and make go away. I can be curious about what's going on around me and why am I feeling like this. And I can have a discussion with myself or trusted friends, because it's not something to be ashamed of. It's part of the human experience. And so I hope that soon diagnoses can transition into experiences that are fluid instead of labels that are stagnant. Thank you for listening. And thank you for enduring the onslaught of a bunch of fur from my cat. I wish you a wonderful day. Take care.